Hello and welcome to What Are You Saying? Hashtag Ways, where we talk about topics in the news as it affects us all. I am Usayo Misale. I had a very restful weekend.
We could tell from your voice.
When something attacked me on Friday, no, was it Friday or Thursday?
Thursday.
Was
I think
Thursday.
Thursday or Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Yes.
What happened?
No, we can't talk about it.
It was. So I told myself, ooh, what cannot be done can be done another day.
Ugh.
I just had to take a break. It was really, really tough.
It was deserving.
My dear. How are you? Marianne, let me start with you.
I'm good. My voice is back.
Praise the Lord.
Not entirely.
At least I can sound a little sexy like, ooh, welcome to Ways.
But how was your day? How did the weekend go? How was your brother's stuff?
It was good. It was good.
You-
It was good. We enjoyed our weekend in River State and we learned about some new culture.
Very interesting culture.
You know.
I think we should talk about it one of these days.
I'm not there.
You're not there.
I've traveled. Hi, Mercy. How was your weekend, darling?
For one night. Messi, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
Messi, we're on a mission.
Yes, to conquer.
Destination is Abuja.
Yeah.
We
We're
go
on a
there.
mission.
Final destination, Red
Abuja.
Chamber.
Red Chamber.
The national cake. Whatever they are sharing.
Well, hey guys, I don't know how you guys do it. Honestly speaking, I don't even go through all these blogs. I don't know what's going on. And a lot of things are just happening. Somebody sending, everybody bringing out disclaimer. I know do, I do.
My God. It's been an interesting weekend, I tell you. In one weekend, Biden has stepped down. Kamala Harris has been endorsed. In one weekend, people's numbers have been published. In one weekend, somebody has said, I will give you 5 million if you can give me proof. It's been a very interesting weekend.
I like how you quickly just jumped on that and summarized everything.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense.
It was
But for me, what actually stood out, maybe because we're talking about the weekend, was I would tilt the political way. It was really, interesting. It was quite shocking, to see all of that. And I was just jumping all over the place, following all the news channels and trying to
You
keep
just
up
know how
with
to
it.
follow them. Because people were just sending stuff to me. I'm like, and somebody said somebody that's they just finished the show now was sacked. And I said, come on, guys. Why are we peddling fake news?
well, whatever it is, the ratings went up because everybody went to check whether he's there or not. So
And he showed up today.
that's how media works, right? It works in your favor.
Yeah.
All right. So if you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, it's at Official Upgrade TV. Click the link, and subscribe. We have a lot of content there that you will find interesting, so you should follow that link. So tonight, in partnership with Enough is Enough, we're looking at Nelson Mandela's legacy, right? As we, of course, continue to fight for justice and equity. And as you all know, Nelson Mandela was a global advocate for peace and justice, dedicated his life to the fight against apartheid and the pursuit of equality and human rights. As it's also a day that was created in honor to celebrate his legacy, known as Nelson Mandela International Day. Always is observed on the 18th of July. So I'll read a life of legacy and leadership, right? First, he led the fight against apartheid in South Africa. He spent 27 years in prison for standing up against inequality, forgave his captors and chose reconciliation over revenge, became the first Black president of South Africa in 1994.
Again, he established the Truth and Reconciliation Commission to heal the nation. He also went on to commission the rights of children, women, and marginalized communities, worked to address poverty, inequality, and education. He received the Nobel Prize, Peace Prize in 1993, and that was not actually all of it. He was also known for this particular quote: "A nation should not be judged on how it treats its highest citizens, but its lowest ones. For to be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others."
Well, here's a call to action for Nigerians. Number one, we need to hold our leaders accountable. We have to demand for transparency and accountability from those in power. Secondly, we need to celebrate diversity and unity, embrace Nigeria's rich cultural heritage, and promote national unity. Thirdly, we need to invest in education, advocate for better funding and resources in schools, ensuring that education is accessible to all, particularly in the underserved communities. Also, we have to utilize technology for advocacy, leverage social media and digital platforms to raise awareness about social issues, mobilize support for causes, and hold leaders accountable. And finally, we need the support of civil society to engage with and support civil society organizations that promote human rights, education, and social justice.
All right, so I'll conclude to say Nelson Mandela's life and legacy serve as a powerful reminder of the impact one person can have on the world. Very, very powerful. So to share more on this, remember, just go and share your story. Visit oneperson.ng. And this was brought to you in partnership with Enough is Enough, as we always do every Monday. All right, so tonight we're having a conversation. So we hear that there are a lot of appointments that are not appointing, and somewhat like questionable appointments. Did you people follow that story over the weekend?
Well, I mean, it's just a lot of things, and this obviously became a bigger issue because of the sack of Senator Ndume, and the one thing that he said that sparked. Many people have obviously called Mr. President names and kicked against some of the people that he put in his kitchen cabinet, and they're saying that these people are not doing anything because they're his boys, and this is something that was re-echoed by Ndume. Obviously, Ndume got himself into hot water, and here we are.
Yeah. So in light of this, we're having a conversation around the allegations surrounding Tinubu's appointment, and here's what we found as today's quote. It says, the wrong leader can do more damage than 1,000 enemies. To join us in this conversation much later would be, we'll call her a friend of the house, Adetun Onajobi. She's a human rights activist. And of course, when we open our phone lines, we'd really love to hear your thoughts on this conversation. But first, let's quickly run off on a break. When we come back from that break, we want to see what we found in today's news. All right, you are still watching Ways Now. World Brain Day is an annual event held by the World Federation of Neurology to raise awareness about brain health and neurological disorders. Each year, the day focuses on different aspects of brain health, research, and advocacy. World Brain Day was first celebrated in 2014 as part of the 50th anniversary of the World Federation of Neurology, and the day was established to increase global awareness about brain health, highlight the impact of neurological disorders, and encourage greater investment in brain research and neurology. So how to get involved, educational outreaches, social media campaigns, support neurological research and collaborations, and do what we're doing on Ways, bring it also to the conversation table. This is one organ in the body that, every day I keep praying because,
it's a multifaceted organ. In fact, if that organ is not working, things don't work in your body.
And that's the reason why
a lot of things.
And that's why when you find someone who's not mentally stable, when you find those people on the street who are acting, they're not coordinated, you just know that there's a discommunication. Because if the signal, your brain actually is very important.
It's not sending the right signals,
if your brain, because when you see some of them acting, you're like, why is this person behaving like this? Because on a normal day, your brain should be telling you on the road, there should be some level of composure, steeze, right? And then you're...
and this one has
steeze. And then you're
so Gen Z.
You're not steezing, right? So you're already acting irrational. So, just know that there's a... But you also know another one. Let me share a quick one. I have an experience, and I feel like everybody has a little bit of, brain touch, that brain wave. And so literally people get crazy, like you are mentally unstable.
Not me.
You experience that mental instability 1 second.
No.
2 seconds, right? You
2
don't
seconds.
lose it.
You lose it.
Oh, but I think that's anger.
lose it.
That's
No, but
anger.
that's not the one I want to
You-
talk about. I'm not talking about anger. So I'm talking about motion sickness. So usually when I travel quite long distance, I don't like to travel like that.
Does motion sickness have to do with your brain?
Yes, so there's a disconnect. I mean, because I suffer it, so I had to do a lot of research, and I found that it's the fact that there's a disconnect between the signal that your brain and your eyes getting is different. So usually when you're in a car, that's why you feel nauseous, you want to throw up. Your brain is telling
only
your body,
sickness.
your brain
Did you
is
have
actually
motion sickness?
Terrible.
So
I
this
had
is what your
nothing.
brain is telling your body. Your brain is telling your eyes that you're static, that you're not moving. And so there's certain chemical, because for everything that happens, there's always a chemical that's released. So if your brain is telling your eyes
Like
that you're
literally,
moving,
right? When
you now start, so there's a contradiction. You're not static, you're moving.
I envy people that
And
are
so you
able
now
to
start
read
feeling
when they're
nauseous.
being driven. I envy people that are able to go through their phones when they're being
Yeah,
driven.
I do everything.
Most times when I'm being driven, I just shut my eyes and I sleep because it's very bad for me.
The only time I get sick is when I'm on the water, and I never go on the water, so that's it.
So for me, it's
Yeah.
usually that, I have motion
But
sickness.
this
I
is
could
what,
travel from a
but
certain...
this is the amazing thing about the brain. Most people don't know. What you see, that picture of the brain, it's not really the brain. The brain is liquid. Actually, your brain is in a liquid state. And that's why if anything, be it cancer, whatever, gets to the brain, that's it. Because it's liquid. It
Quickly
infects
absorbs.
it. Yes, so take care of your brain.
It is well. So let's run through our what's in the news quickly. I'll go with you, Marianne.
Okay, my what's in the news is something that I'm bittersweet about. Am I happy that President Joe Biden has decided to step down from this elections? I'm very happy because I think that he needs to take care of himself. But then I'm mostly excited that Kamala is in the race, because there was a time when people said the Blue Party was never going to give her a chance. But look, Kamala Harris has been endorsed, and in less than 24 hours of her endorsement, she's raised $50 million for her campaign. She's been endorsed by so many people, be them celebrities, members of the Democratic Party, even those you didn't expect. But this is my challenge. Is America ready for a female president? Not just a female president, but a black woman in the White House.
It's not only just, is America ready for a female president? Is America... Because you see, I've been watching the dynamics happening in the US, and I'm saying to myself, right, for the fact that Trump could give Biden a run for his money, to get him to this point where the Democrats had to tell him, guy, you have to step down.
I don't think it was Trump.
I
It was
think
his
so.
health. No.
No, it's not.
No.
I don't think it was Trump.
You
Trump
have to be a strong contender.
I totally disagree. Trump is taking credit for something that was going to come one way or the other. Biden is one of the oldest politicians in the U.S.
How
after
old is Trump?
McCain.
If you talk about age.
No, I'm just saying. But in his case, he's not well. He's had his brain fixed. He's had surgery in his brain. So, of course, he's having an early onset of, Alzheimer's. So really, yes, he needs to step aside if he must run a country as big as the United States. And it's not because he's not a great politician
But
or a leader.
that
but it's
has
just
also
that
raised a lot of concern as to whether Democrats have been concealing this from Americans, because
they're not.
that also
Everything.
could
No.
be,
It's
you know,
been
so it's a
public
talking-
knowledge.
No,
It's
so
never
the
been
thing is,
hidden.
it could also be, and they're saying that if did it take you up to this point for you to have someone who is not fit, to continue
Because
to
you
run the
see,
country?
you were saying,
so, man, there are a lot
Trump
of
is
issues.
taking credit, but I'm telling you that the heat, even us that were here in Nigeria, we could feel the heat. But I
It's
just
an
want to
early
ask one
onset.
question. Is Camilla strong enough?
It's not even whether Kamala is strong enough.
Kamala.
You've talked about
Kamala, sorry.
It's not
I
even
call her
whether
Camilla.
Kamala Harris is strong enough. It's also to understand whether or not the party is going to toe that line. Don't forget.
Well, the
it's one
party is
thing
open
have-
to it. This is the
So
this
don't
is the challenge.
forget the fact
if
that,
the Electoral College took a Trump over Hillary Clinton, who's a white woman who has been Secretary of State for years in the United States, she didn't get that ticket to win. She came this close. Who's to say that an attorney, someone who was just an attorney, I mean, of course, she's a highly placed attorney. It's not about that. It's the truth. The truth is that the U.S. is still dealing with the skin color.
Yeah.
And the fact that a
Apart from the
woman
skin
has
color,
yet to become
So don't forget that,
the
at
US
every
president.
point you have internal politics. He belongs to a political party. Now, the president
Let's see.
himself has
It's
said...
too
Let's
late.
just
No,
monitor.
it's too
And so-
late. It's
and
actually
so
too
it
late
is
in the
also
day
still
to get
very
any other
open
person.
to see
It's
whether
too
the
late.
party will throw up. I mean, you can't decide.
No.
You can't-
Mercy.
Because the conversations are going on.
Mercy,
The
do you
party
understand how the American politics works? There's no time.
No, but they haven't really said that. They
No,
haven't
they
literally come out to say that they're endorsing her.
No,
so
they
we're still
have.
waiting. They haven't.
They have. Oh gosh, they have. Listen, all they're going to do, they're already voting via Zoom. There's no time to have a national convention. So what I'm telling you now is that, can the American people
Are they ready for her?
Yes,
that's the question.
America is a poster child for democracy, but really, how democratic is the US when it comes to women? That's the case.
That's a strong conversation there.
Yeah.
All right, Mercy. Do you want to take your what's in news, or you want to take
Oh, definitely. I came across a video of a National Assembly member who was speaking on a plant protest. Don't forget that, there's been stories about having plant protests against what's going on. Not necessarily, people are saying, okay, yes, we want to go out to the street to protest. And in all of the things, if you haven't seen this video, I'm not sure, but in summary of all he was saying is that it is very dangerous to actually allow the protest to happen and all of that. I think we can just quickly take a break and just hear this one briefly.
Swansea from Sokoto State. Mr. Speaker, this issue is a critical issue, and it's timely for this Hallowed Chamber to discuss this matter. I'm a young man. I'm a product of struggle. Normally, in every struggle, 3C is necessary: consultation, confirmation, and confrontation. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues.
So I mean, the long and short of it is that it is very dangerous. That's what he's saying. For people to go out to actually protest, and I found that very, very funny, because we live in a democratic dispensation, and when you talk about democracy, you want to look at some elements of democracy. We can't constantly dictate to the people what to do, especially when it's within the Constitution. It's enshrined in the Constitution.
That's how only
so that we are allowed to
so
protest.
everyone actually has a right to, according to Section 14
have
of the
we
Constitution.
really practiced
No,
the
can I just
of democracy?
wait? Can I just drop this a little bit? The point here is, if people are going to go out to protest, the government should be concerned about ensuring that the protest is peaceful, that criminal elements
of the
do not hijack this protest. Everyone has a right to a peaceful...
criminal elements, I always ask this question.
So the thing would be that...
Who are the people that sponsor these criminal elements, for goodness sake?
Because the criminal elements are also suffering like us. I do not support
protest, and I would beg anybody that cares to listen. You understand? You already know. It's like, this is the same thing we do over and over again. It's called insanity. You do the same thing over and over again. You see it's not working.
But you can't
keep
stop
on doing
the people.
This.
The fact that you and I have a right to peaceful assembly, people should be allowed to assemble.
I'm not saying that
and
they are
not
not
discourage
allowed
them.
to assemble.
And the government should actually rather think of saying, we would ensure that we'll provide security.
So this thing you just said is upsetting me. You know how this thing goes. You know who are the people that
are going to just allow them express themselves. Everyone has a right to express themselves. You cannot dictate to the people and tell them what not to do.
Listen, the people that always ensure that it becomes violent, you are asking them to ensure the safety. What's the point?
They won't.
The point is, and that's why we're having this conversation, and that's why we're doing a reminder that it is within the right.
My reminder is find a different strategy, please.
But that's a major. No, but that's the major tool in a democracy.
Okay,
we
let's
all
see how
have
it
to
goes.
protest, whether they like it or not.
My story is about Dangote. Let me talk my own. So, of course, all the drama happening. We're having someone on Wednesday talk about this Dangote issue, but I just wanted to bring to our notice that he has said that he's going to halt the proposed investment, in steel to avoid monopoly accusations. And, Dangote invested about $20 billion, I hear, for the refinery. So now he's saying that, you know what, I remove my hand. I don't do it again.
All right. This thing is just a mess. I'm so sorry. And I hate the fact that Nigerians are being so played by what's happening. And then people are saying, oh, Dangote deserves it. Yes, you should see it. We're forgetting that these people... I played Mele Kyari's audio the day he was hailing this man on the launch of our commissioning of that plant. And how he said it was a beautiful thing, was a big... Then all of a sudden, he wasn't licensed. You waited till June or July of 2024 to say that he's not properly licensed. You're telling me that he's only done 45%. I mean, are you guys joking? So why did you even why did you make it news when he was saying that oh, they've started, they're importing fuel. Why didn't you say, no, halt it until you're 100% or 90%, don't start producing? So we're all playing to the gallery. We need to see what's really at play here until we're ready to strategically look at this issue.
This is
playing.
This is what upsets me with government matter. Do you understand? It's like you are the one. Now you find trouble. Now you go. It's okay. Let's take a break. When we come back from that break, let's have our conversation for today. Stay with us. We are back. All right, thanks for staying with us. Now, conversation tonight is what's called the president, and how he has made several high-profile appointments that have not only shaped his administration's direction, but also stirred significant, of course, significant. Would I call it controversies online? Now, these appointments have been critiqued from various angles, ranging from the integrity of the selection process all to the qualifications of those that are appointed. Of course, we are asking, what exactly is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's plan when it comes to the appointments, and the kind of scrutiny that he's faced in his recent appointments. Okay, so what exactly is going on? Do you agree with the people that are criticizing him and saying that he's favoring certain tribes, certain kind of people, and is not concerned about governance? That's the conversation we want to have. Unfortunately, our guest is not here. But hey, I think we have a video. I don't know if there's a video that can be played. Or if the video is not ready, we'll just move on. But okay, let's play the video.
Lady of Federal Republic of Nigeria, leave agriculture and begin to check the people that are in your husband's cabinet. What? Me, I don't join APC. If they don't celebrate me, I go welcome myself to the party. So if you are a criminal, don't be ashamed again. There's no point we going up and down again and preaching hope and unity in this country anymore. There's no point we telling our youth to go and read. Education is important because obviously all the education now, now people will sabi crime pass, people will sabi steal pass, people will get confidence that nothing will happen. Now then the government now. So my fellow youth, please, any crime that you are doing, stop hiding your face. Come out. My father's government is encouraging them. It's encouraging them. If you can put Alimakoli, COVID, or Indomie, you brand it, and they still gave you appointment. Please come out. Let us stop hiding anymore. If you're a criminal, come out with your full chest. Come with your full chest. Why?
Unfortunately, Tone was supposed to join us, but she says she's been held up in the governor's office. So maybe the conversations are ongoing. But Marianne, I don't know if you've been monitoring the stories around the appointment of the president, and her allegations are quite strong. That was why I wanted us to have this conversation, given that Mondays are reserved for governance and leadership conversations, right? The allegations are, first of all, is who is able to pay the most. I heard a very strong one. I say, yeah, my hand on my head. Like ministerial appointments, like you pay heavily for it. I said, what? I thought these things were supposed to be on merit. It was supposed to be based on competence. It was supposed to be based on, kind of certain criteria, right?
That's what we're meant to believe.
That's what we're meant to believe. So when I started hearing all these allegations flying around, I said, no, this cannot be true. Right, but what's your take, right? What's your thoughts?
I tell you what, when the list was, put out, I wasn't necessarily fazed by the people on this list. These were basically people who either stabbed their friends in the back for the president at the time, candidate for the party, the likes of Bagudu, El Rufai. The likes of Bessa Edu were people who worked tirelessly, in the campaign for Mr. President as a party woman leader. If they didn't give her anything, I would have been worried. you know, and then several other people who made the list, like Wike, who stabbed his party in the back. You saw what he did. He literally tore the PDP apart to get the ministerial appointment. He's still doing the same thing in his state. I mean, the people who make up that list, obviously, not necessarily are they based on competence, but are there a few people who are on that list who are based on competence? Yes. I remember when the list came out last year, or early this year, I was excited about the likes of Wale Edun, you know, the CBN governor,
Cardoso.
Yemi Cardoso, you know, and a few other people. But aside from that, I mean, El-Rufai is not in that ministerial appointment list because we saw how he was disgraced out of that place, which has also made him a target of sorts for, you know, his predecessor, the guy who's taken over from him. He's facing a terrible, terrible case with the EFCC, and his sons have been running amok on social media, calling people names. I mean, if you really critically look at this list, the only guys that we can really point to who are doing their jobs, if you ask me, is the man from my state who's in charge of sports. In fact, he made a funny statement the day that he was appointed. He said, a farmer being made the Minister of Sports. He goes to show that we have a lot of square pegs in round holes. Also, the lady who's, I think Ohane is also another very interesting human being who's been suing a lot of people.
Oh my gosh. I saw the altercation she had, you know.
Yes.
I saw the altercation she had. And well, so the person actually, the recent appointment that just happened that even actually
Got people
necessitated
talking.
this video by Tong was the ex-lawmaker, Mojisola Oluwa, that's Ali Macaulay.
Yeah.
And, you know, the allegations then, it was so strong in the minds of people that this woman had taken, you know, the COVID-19 palliative.
To use it for her birthday party.
Yes,
We all
and
saw
then
it.
branded it, you know, and branded that those things, and actually then redistributed them as birthday souvenirs.
Yes. Yeah.
So the question is, somebody like that, right, going into the office that caters to Nigeria's Social Insurance Trust Fund. So her question was, how would you put someone that it's known that these things belong to the people, and you are now giving that thing, giving that person, it's like giving, feeding a rat a cheese.
But Ali
Macaulay.
Ali Macaulay's small fish. Shall I blow your minds, Nigeria? Your Minister of State for Defense has been dragged in his state, Zamfara State, for stealing billions. Billions are being unaccounted for. He's the Minister of State for Defense. This is a bigger fish where Nigerians are saying, how can this man be a Minister of State for Defense? When he was governor, he barely could do anything about the insecurity in his state. He could do nothing about education. This is a man who cared for nothing. He is a minister of the Federal Republic, and you're talking about somebody who just stole COVID items. Billions unaccounted for in that government. If we start to look at them one after the other, we're not going to live here. So again, it begs the question, the people in Mr. President's cabinet, are they ready to be accountable? Because if Mr. President has brought these people into his team, it means that he probably is overlooking the fact that there are allegations hanging over their head. But there are people who will also say, Buhari, after he waited for months and months, he said he was going to bring angels from heaven. Look at the people that made up his cabinet. They all had one case or the other. Look at your Senate president. Shall we go there?
Not yet. Let me hear Mercy's thoughts.
So the thing is, I don't think that this is actually new in the Nigerian polity. It has been, if you look at, you know, past antecedent, we've never had anybody in the, whether you want to look at the previous government,
please. Let's not do that. Let's not do that to the Obasanjo administration.
You can't say that you've had, you know, people without all of these issues. And so what really happens in the political scene is the fact that
you have to be specific, Messi.
Yeah, because you can't blanketly. What
really happens? Can I please land?
No. Because you're on TV. You can't say that previous administration. No, I disagree. Because we're on TV. Don't misinform people.
No, wait. Can you allow me to land?
I did not have people.
I said the previous administration before this. I did not say the Obasanjo.
That was why I said
the
specific.
And I'm saying, just allow me land with my thoughts. If you allow me land with my thoughts, it will be okay.
Great.
So as I was saying, if you look at the antecedent, if you look at how politics is actually run, or, you know, the politicking system. And that's what actually enables all of this. At the end of the day, the people who literally sponsors, you know, those who are actually vying for political offices. You have those who are sponsoring governors and all of that. It creates a ground for settlement, some sort of settlement. And so it's a business. So you find out that the same politics again of godfatherism has been enabled over time in the system, and that continues. And so that's why we constantly have all of these people who are not, you know, qualified to handle certain roles engaging. So for instance, if I am saying I want to become the president, you know that at the party level, for you to even buy the ticket is very expensive. And that means that you now begin to look for resources, you begin to look for support and funds. And at the end of the day, when you eventually become the president or the governor, you need to begin to settle those people who supported you. That's exactly what it is. So the politics of prebendalism, the politics of clientelism, the politics of godfatherism, and which also usually brings us to the fact that those who are occupying government offices are not necessarily those who are, you know, qualified, but you have those allies, those who are loyal to whoever is calling the shot. That has always been, you know, the issue. But we also had different arguments where people say, should we literally, you know, what is there? It is what it is. I remember a time when we were having a conversation right here, and I talked about Gbajabi Amila, who, you know, has been disbarred by, you know, Georgia or California, if I'm not mistaken. And it was, you know, there was a counter argument saying, oh, well, it is what it is, because if we're comparing it to the father of, you know, democracy, what is Donald Trump currently doing right there, trying to become the president of the country? And so it feels as though we have literally given up. We have literally given up. And it makes it very difficult, you know, so it makes it very difficult right now, to, you know, to have the conversation to say exactly what are we saying. It looks as though it's normal. So let's continue, you know, in the entire, whatever it is that we're doing in the system, just enabling it, and we just continue to wallow until the day we continue to pray and hope that.
And that's why we're having this conversation. We can't enable it, because the truth is, I can't really sit back and say that we've had worse. I think that the Buhari administration just brought us to an all-time low. I would continuously give credit to the Obasanjo administration. And who will that credit necessarily go to? It will go to the Vice President, Atiku Abubakar, because he brought all those technocrats that worked in that administration that made Obasanjo look good. I would always give credit to Obasanjo. I'm not saying he's a saint, but he was very strategic in his appointment.
No, but look at, even
Did he give his friends some opportunities? Yes, but the serious roles, he gave it to the people who were competent.
It is normal. I mean, we're here, right? If anything happens tomorrow and I have an opportunity, I'll look first within before. It's normal.
But what would you be prioritizing, competence or friendship?
Go check the pedigree of Obasanjo's appointees, right? Check them today.
Yeah.
See where they're located.
Look at what some of the best places. Yes.
Do you understand? So it tells you that it was not a misfit. You know, but let's take a break, right? When we come back from that break, we'll continue the conversation. Stay with us. Nigeria, by extension, Africa, is faced with a lot of challenges.
With the growing youth population and very little engagement.
That is a ticking time bomb.
We're blessed people with a diverse culture who have a lot to say.
And yes, we are talking.
It is important we drive conversations that informs, inspires, and influences thoughts and actions.
If we say there is beauty in diversity, then let us embrace our diverse culture.
We must continue to courageously be the voice of transformation.
As we are the hope for the future, yesterday's conversation shaped today.
What are you saying to shape your tomorrow?
We know you have a lot to say, and we are here to hear you.
if you just tuned in, we're having a conversation around, allegations that are surrounding our president's appointment, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, please, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-4663. Our phone line is now open. The number to call is 07025007749. That's the number to call. So, my dear sisters in the studio, you know how interesting this is. So when I heard how much somebody paid, to be appointed as a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I'm now thinking, if the person enters that office, you think it is you and I the person will be thinking about? Of course not. Or the person will first of all think how to recoup all the investment that I have made.
And that's what Messi was saying.
Do you understand? Like
settlement.
It is ridiculous. It is absurd. But you see, this outright, would I call it nonchalance, or this I don't care attitude that we think it is okay? I mean, in insane climes, right? Because let's not even know, I don't know where it's sane and where it's not sane anymore. Insane climes, right? Where things, when like somebody like me now, I cannot go and apply for anything. Maybe say, okay, they want to now say, oh, they are giving positions in a church or something. I say, I want to go, I'm a sinner. You understand? And I cannot guarantee that.
At that point, you declare yourself
my
a
darling.
sinner.
And I cannot guarantee that if I get to the church, I will not continue sinning. So why will I go and say I want to go and take an appointment that requires me to be, is it chaste? Now, what's the English?
Yes.
Do you understand? Why would I go and take an appointment that requires that of me when I know that I do not have the capacity to be clean? So you cannot keep appointing people that have questionable characters, especially people that are supposed to be serving the country. Absolutely. Because the only way you can serve is if you have a heart of service. If you have a questionable character, you're thinking about yourself. But it'll be difficult
what
for
is
you to
the
govern,
percentage
or
of
even,
our politicians that are...
No,
sorry. What is the percentage of our politicians in this country that are service-driven? What's the percentage?
Yeah, very few.
Compared to the ones who are more interested in how they can, according to you, eat the national cake. It might sound funny, but let's be realistic. What's the percentage of the average Nigerian politician who does not lie because he wants to get to where he's going to, who does not try to destroy others so he can get to where he's getting to, or who really wants to serve their people? Just a handful of them. So before you even get to that point of saying, why would I take? They don't care. That is why elections are bloody. That's why guns will continue to come into this country unaccounted for. You don't know where it's coming from. You don't know where it's going to. That is why we will do anything within our powers to hold public offices. It doesn't even start there. It starts from when you become a tiny general manager in a ministry or a department or an agency. The permanent secretaries are the ones who point the ministers in the direction of how the modus operandi of stealing money or siphoning funds. It's not the politician.
So I'm happy you're bringing this up now.
I also want to bring another, very, very conflicting or very different opinion to
We trust you.
So the truth is, usually we find out that if you look at Nigeria, a lot of people who went to the university to study certain courses don't end up working as those professionals. So let's even, take it from the point that some of these persons do not have the experience. Let's say you look at the certain minister now, I can't really jog my brain to think about who's not occupying the actual position. For instance, let's take a better Idu. I mean, she's a professional medically, and one would think that, she should be occupying
the Ministry of
Health, because she's got a lot of experience. One-time commissioner for health, the primary healthcare chairperson, or calling the shots there. And one would think that should be the case. But you also know when it is that people say that you literally learn on the job, you get the experience on the job, and if that's the case. So I'm thinking, on this other hand, that there might not be experience in the job, having experience of becoming, maybe, let's say, for instance, you're a Minister of Health. Let's not even use the Ministry of Health because that's very dicey. It's very sensitive. So you
let's use a Daily Alake in mining.
So just use someone else. But you think that there should be some, learning and training and all of that. You should get it. But quickly going to a statement made by one of the public servants. What's his name again? Bayo Onanuga. Yes. Recently, he put out a statement that could actually, or that could, tense up the polity or could heat up the polity. putting out a narrative, because we're always saying that we should work with facts. That ministry is, very sensitive. It's information. And if Nigeria is
already... He's not the information minister.
We know he's not information minister, but he's literally putting out, information on his personnel. He's a spokesperson. And that's some form of communication and, information. Now, you going to put out a statement that, the former presidential candidate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Peter Obi, is responsible for the protests. He's instigating the politics, asking for violent protests and all of that. Does that really make sense? Do you think that it's because he lacks the experience?
Guy is a totally different animal. He started it during the campaign saying
so do you think
against the Igbo people.
Do you think that it is... So my question now is, do you think it is a problem of experience, or you think that it is another agenda?
So, but let me ask a question.
So, because I think that people can learn on the job and become better on the job. But it depends on the interests that they are, they are representing.
I have questions. First of all, what are the expertise needed in public service? Think about that. Brew on that. And I also want to ask, do you think that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will intentionally bring people that will make him look bad? It's a question.
That's really, literally, are you asking that? So the thing is, I won't give you a direct answer. I won't say it's a yes or no. I can't tell you yes, but I will just say this.
But you don't need a direct answer, do you? Why are those people there?
Do you want me to say yes? Because at the end of the day, we have literally seen that personal interest supersedes national interest.
Bam.
Because if you had personal interest, you would always think about, the interest of the nation.
Yep.
That would be the reason why, even if Marianne is very pretty and, she has all it takes.
I cannot be a beauty queen.
She cannot be... She does not have what it takes. We know that she cannot run a certain ministry. Yeah. She does not have the pedigree. I will not appoint her.
Yes. No matter how much English
at the end of the day, it could just be, for the fact that, she's my friend, she supported my campaign, she was there for me, all those kind of sentiments. That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
And the reason why this country is the way it is, I tell you for free, it is because our politicians have decided to put their personal interest above national interest. And until the day personal interest dies, until the day we're willing to give 90 to this country, we're not saying you're a cent, you can take 10 and give 90, Nigeria becomes better.
You can actually even take 30%.
Oh, I want to answer your question.
So the first question I want
to answer the latter question.
The latter question.
Yeah. The answer to that question is straightforward. Is the president interested in looking good? Is he interested in looking good? Because you said, will he deliberately want to put people in offices that will make him look bad? Do you think his interest is looking good? Because I've watched over and over again. Every time the president spoke about his campaign, he just kept saying it was his turn. So he has an agenda.
And it is Loma's turn to speak.
Yes.
Loma, you're alive.
My sister, long time. Good evening to all of my beautiful sisters in the house.
Good evening.
Yeah. Going by the topic on the screen, let me tell you, I have some reservations in our president's appointment. But if you talk about Nyesom Wike is a square peg in a square hole. You see, Dave Umai is a square peg in a square hole. But you see, Bayo Onanuga, this man started his ethnic sentiment during election period. I followed him keenly, the way he was talking, the way he was doing as if the election was do or die affair. Even the way he was talking about P2B, if he liked it or not like it, P2B won convincingly in Lagos State. But I know the way he was talking. So, you see, some people that our president is doing well, our president is doing well, but some people he appointed in his administration. I'm telling you, those people supposed not to near the presidency. They're supposed not to near the leadership of this country at all. Because Bayo Onanuga is not the type that can unite this country.
Thank you so much, Loma, for your time. I'm so very pleased. Go ahead with your conversation.
Yeah, so what I was saying is that we get carried away by, and I'm so sorry, with due respect to all Nigerians, we have a very short-term memory, and the politicians know, and so they keep bringing new stories to distract you. They'll just say, what can we? It's okay, bring new national anthem.
Something in.
New national anthem. You to distract them. They'll talk about it and forget. They always find a way to distract us from the main issue. For example, what he's saying about Bayo Nanuga, I blocked him during the campaigns because he was spewing a lot of hate. And then you forget about all you did during the campaign. All of a sudden, you now want to bring unity. And I thought Akpabi also, I'm bringing him into the conversation because he's one of those people who said that this anthem, if we were singing this anthem, we would have been
united. Come on.
you know, I don't even want us to go back to that.
No, we have to. Because these events keep building up. And these same politicians who were the people that were in the thick of dividing Nigerians, nobody remembers. Oh, me and you, I don't remember where you're from. When it's close to campaign season, I now remember that you're from Elele. Elele people are not good. Or something. And it's because a politician said it at a campaign. Then when they get what they want, they now start saying, we all have to come together and be peaceful. I cannot forget what Buhari did when he lost that election, the very first one. He said some very nasty things that on a normal day, the nation should have burned. Look at fast forward to what Bayo Nanuga has been spewing on social media. But then they're quick to say Peter Obi is trying to cause problems in elections.
When they are the instigators.
When you are the ones in the forefront.
Thank you for that.
That's why I'm asking again. Is the presidency and the president interested in looking good? Or do they have an agenda?
And that is why when we were talking about the protests, right? That was why I was saying to Mercy, the people that are causing the mayhem, you are asking them to provide security.
I am just...
It does not... No, wait, let me land my point, Mercy, now. It does not make any sense. But I want to ask this question again that I asked before. What are the qualifications, what are the expertise needed to be in public service?
So I'll take you off from the last one. We need to understand that whether anything makes sense or not, when a thing is not right, it's not right, and what is obtainable is obtainable. So we literally have what is, what ought to be. That's the case we're facing in Nigeria. So I'm talking about what is. You are talking about what is. I am talking about what ought to be. And we need to understand that there are two different things. You cannot take away... Nigeria will not be the first country that used protests as a tool. We have seen protests. Now, whether or not protest is yielding any results is a different conversation entirely. The point I'm trying to make now is...
What ought to be.
So what you're saying, what
the
ought
only
to be
way
is
what
that...
ought to be.
So what ought to be? Okay, let's start in terms of
appointments.
What ought to be? I've seen people decline appointments. Under Buhari, people decline appointments.
You're even talking about appointment order.
They cannot give me the Ministry of Health. I have no idea. I might have general idea, but I know that I will not be able to bring my expertise to play. So I'd decline. But because we're greedy people want to be seen and heard in that government.
Let us just be there.
Yes.
But also,
whatever happened to say, Your Excellency, can I take a small, even if it's a smaller ministry where I know I can bring my expertise? Because at the end of the day, you want to be able to be remembered for the person who changed things in that ministry, that department, or that agency. But no. Nobody cares.
So I think that there's something that we're also missing, because usually we always talk about, how about the lawmakers? Are you guys not really tired about some of the bills and the motions and some funny laws that you have, the lawmakers
that's what we're saying,
we're also talking about. So apart from the fact that the president, don't forget that, having your ministers or making your cabinet is also appointive. It is not an elected position. Now, what happens to our lawmakers, those who are representing us at the state and at the national level, right? And when they come together, they make the chamber. What happens to those people that were elected? Because we wake up and see someone, standing up one day in the middle of all of the crisis that we're faced with as a country, that begin to tell you that let's, change the national anthem. It was a lawmaker's idea.
No, it's crazy.
And someone wakes up and tell you,
fact,
let's begin to create more states.
Those are elective positions, right? I would choose to say that the onus is on us as Nigerians.
How many of us know that there's a recall process? How many of us have tested the recall process?
It's not even tested.
How many of us have written petitions? How many of us know where the constituency offices are?
So
it has to start somewhere.
So, Marianne, it's not even testing. Prior to 2023 general elections, when we go to the polling units to vote, we do not care who those lawmakers are. Whatever party we're voting at the presidency or
You
the
just-
governorship,
the same
we
party.
just go across board like that. So
That's a
we
problem.
need, so that's what I'm saying,
That's
that
a
you
problem.
need to be intentional about studying the people that will go and represent you, because now
And that's why the
we're
conversation
seeing-
around individual candidacy also,
Wait,
raises
now,
head a
now
little bit.
we are
in
seeing that
2023.
that is why we cannot have an effective legislative system.
we
We can
can't.
have it. Because these guys are supposed to be the ones creating laws that protect us
Yes.
as citizens. They are the ones using
They're
their hands to
supposed
scatter
to
a
be
lot of
there
things.
representing us.
Us!
And in other words, if you're representing me, it means that you have to be touching base with me at all times to say, what is it that
What
you
is
need?
the problem?
What is it
Have
that
they
you
ever
want?
called for a town hall to say, Marianne, you live in Etiosa local government. What are the challenges so that I can bring it before? You don't do those
And
things.
this is, it boils down to all the way down to the councillors. But we're not ready for that conversation.
So that
Uwa.
those ones, the reason I'm not talking about it, because the onus is on us. We have to be now wait, now let's finish. We have to be intentional about the people we appoint. But you see,
I'm
the ones,
interested.
the ones we elect, the ones that is being appointed by the government, right? We don't have a say in that. It is a presidency. And the accusations
Yes, we do
against
have a
us-
say. Yes, we do have a say.
The truth is,
Yes, we do have a
there's
say.
a
We don't have a say.
there's a strong correlation. You cannot separate both.
Yeah.
So
They're all
whether
there
we don't
to
want to
serve
talk
a
about
purpose.
that, whether you don't want to talk about those who are electing and want to talk about those who are selecting, don't forget that they will interface. You see
Yes.
those ministers and the lawmakers, they interface. And when one
Their
is bringing
jobs
some...
intertwine.
When
Uwa,
one is bringing
we can't
a
pick and
policy,
choose
because one day you wake
what
up, they
to
tell you to
do.
pay for fatting. You are
Yes.
shocked. They will bring a law and say before you
breathe energy.
The truth is, we're not
Nigerians
ready.
will not breathe
Nigerians
anymore.
are not ready to be responsible. And when I mean responsible, I mean, you know, everybody's looking for a hero. Nobody wants to be the hero. Everybody's waiting for Marianne. They will say, Marianne, tell the president, give me transport. Because I'm not understanding why you're sending me. Is it my president alone? But when we begin to understand that it is a collective responsibility, when we begin to concern ourselves with our rights, our duties, and our responsibilities as citizens of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that will not be in any way faced by the lies and the pretenses of our politicians, because they only bring us into the fight when it looks like they need us.
Niyi Kilo Day. It says, good evening, ladies. Your interesting topic tonight is academic. It says someone campaigned on Emilocon spirit and has been ruling with the same Emilocon / our local spirit. He said these politicians don't feel they owe citizens service or be held accountable because of how they got into power, grabbing and snatching. They don't care about Nigerians. They know Nigerians just talk and rant on social media and do nothing. This will continue happening until Nigerians are ready to organize and take back their country. So that the organization now messy, they talk, say, make we go, they protest.
So me, I'm saying, this is what I would say. Everyone has a right to peaceful assembly, as long as, I always say it, and I think I've also said it personally. I say anything when you do when they keep person, as long as you know keep person, you're not a threat to national peace. Because when you constitute a threat to national peace and security, you are a threat. And that's a treasonable offense. But as long as you and I can gather, because you and I can actually gather, and then we're, as long as we're gathering,
that's a hill I'm going to die on. I'm sorry.
And then
protest until you get something. The problem with us, Nigerians, come for me, I'm ready. The problem with us is that we want quick fixes. It's not going to happen. The rot that has taken over the country that we call Nigeria, that rot has happened over time. Years, decades, and you think that a quick fix of 1, 2, 3 days of NSAS is going to heal it? No, sir. Go and ask Nelson Mandela. Go and ask the South Africans. If they gave up because of the bullets that were shot in their directions or the number of people that were killed during their fight against apartheid, there would not be a South Africa today. Those people persevered. This is what we lack in this country. No quick fixes.
It is the perseverance
that
we lack. We not get spirit of.
Yes.
So this is why I'm saying that I know the uniqueness of my. I'm not disillusioned about how unique the Nigerian person, average Nigerian is. Do you understand? And that's why I'm saying that. You see, I can only. I said I was ready to die on something. Before I turn back like this, people don't leave me, don't go. Do you understand what I'm saying? You cannot bank on Nigerians when it comes to protest.
And that's what she just said.
Yes. That's what I'm saying to you, this is why I say
so
that.
We are all expecting for somebody to die for us.
Yes.
No, Jesus has already died for us.
Wait. That strategy, Marianne, that strategy can only work when you have a people that are united and nothing divides us.
When are we going to be united?
In Nigeria, politicians know.
When are we going to be united? When Gary is 2,000 naira for 1 cup? Is that when you are going to be united? The person that was appointed as minister for whatever, technology and whatever, was he not part of the people shouting on Twitter? Was he not part of the people? That's what I'm saying.
So I'm going to ask. I want to leave
something on your in front of your nose, and you automatically we forget that we're in a protest.
Well, but I don't think that we all are up for
Let's
price.
take a comment. Well done, ladies. You all are did justice to today's topic. Hats off to the video where the lady said all them about nepotism. She's also spot on. Thank you. So quickly, one final in 1 minute.
So as we're still talking about all of this, I mean, today we've literally been looking at the allegations surrounding the appointees of this administration led by President Tinubu. And I did also like to, ask or leave us with this thought about what about the fact that there's been a lot of questions surrounding how the current president,
also
became
came into
president.
Power.
The show is
so
over.
let's leave it at that.
The show is over.
Obaseki has said something now, Abi. He said, "Edo we born, Abi. Wherever Nigeria we born."
No, not just Obaseki. The president went on record to promise that they would
deliver Edo State to APC.
Mr. President, how are you preempting an election?
Yes.
You're not an Edo State person.
Yeah.
Let the people of Edo State decide. So this again goes to show that we're not ready. Really.
We will leave it at that. You go and decipher. Choose ye who ye shall serve today. We'll leave it like that. We'll see you guys. Now, before we go, ensure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like, share, invite your families and friends to watch and follow the conversation. Thank you so much, Marianne and Mercy. We did justice to the topic.
Excuse me, this was a really good conversation. But as much as we're giggling about it, Nigerians should go and think about it.
We have to think. Think very deeply. Our future is at stake. I mean, there's no future.
Until we start buying Gary for 2K.
It is well. The quote for today, if you missed it, the wrong leader can do more damage than 1,000 enemies. John C. Maxwell. Go and think about this quote very well. See you guys tomorrow at 8 p.m.